demon.
The Jersey Devil has a number of forms. Quite a few monsters just have maybe one form that they're known for, but the Jersey Devil has been anything from a demonic type of shape, one of its most common features, kind of gargoyle looking, with a horse-like head, bat wings. Put that all together, it makes it a kind of a different, unexplained monster.
Shot at by a hero of the American Revolution, cited by Napoleon Bonaparte's son, and still tracked to this day, the Jersey Devil is one elusive customer. Perhaps its best-kept secret is the birth house. According to legend, the Leeds family home is the source of its power, the place it always returns to. Destroyed by a fire in the 1950s, the house's location is unknown. But the devil hunters believe that if they find the site, they may just find the creature itself.
After this,
You got notepads and everything?
all in the bag.
Night vision and communications gear in place, the devil hunters head out on a search that will take them far into the night.
Our first couple of expeditions were very uneventful, were very tiring, and were very, they felt like waste of time. We started focusing our goals instead of, hey, let's just end up in the woods. We collected information and thought of, let's go find the house that I'm supposedly born in. See if we can find a grave. Let's go check the area and, do some real research instead of just, let's go in the woods and see if the Jersey Devil catches us,
The hunters are sure they're now on the right track. For the past few weeks, as they've stalked the devil, he has begun to stalk them. Recently, there have been several reported sightings, moving ever nearer to their own homes.
Ever since we really started poking around deep into the heart of Leeds Point Woods, sightings started getting closer and closer to the houses. In the past week, there had been sightings consecutively for each of our locations.
I'm a skeptic turned believer. That's what it is. I'm a skeptic about everything in general. I need proof that it's there. But in the recent weeks, that's when it's been proven to me that there is the Jersey Devil. There is something out there.
I heard it again.
When darkness falls, the sounds of creatures of the night emerge, and so too do their tracks.
Where's that print? There! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
A couple of strangely shaped footprints,
Yes.
and they don't seem to belong to any known animal.
Here's some new tracks we found today.
The
None that we've ever
videotaping new
seen
tracks.
before.
Looks almost like whatever it was, it stepped away.
Well, there's also
Sean went on to think about the tracks and point out the way they were walking was not in matched deer method with 4 feet. It actually appears more biped. So it looks as though it's walking like a human would be walking. The only thing we know for fact is that it's fresh. And that's when we started thinking, I don't know about this. We've heard the Indian legends, we've heard of people just disappearing and becoming hunted, and the Jersey Devil knows where you are. See that? A couple of logs, I guess. Pretty old. How about over there? Alright, we got a small clearing in here. Watch your heads, guys. It's going to be tight.
In the darkening woods, every sound is magnified.
You got it, Sean? Yeah,
We all in?
I'm good.
Alright, let's keep going.
Come here, Lori. Here's something.
Yeah, I do.
We've come across the Jersey Devil screech a couple times collectively, the people in the group, and it sounded like machinery and a woman and an animal all combined. It sent chills up my spine. Step as quiet as possible. It sounded exactly like what I've ever heard described.
I hear that. What was that?
What was that?
I'm sure it immediately can sense the fear.
We gotta remember, we gotta transverse the fence at, like, soon.
Did you hear that?
I just saw something like, just some red.
Oh, transverse the fence.
We have to transverse the fence
the
somehow.
Fence. Like, who are we saving ourselves from?
We haven't gone back there, so now's really not a good time because it's nighttime.
I think it's back that way.
No, my sense says this way.
My sense says that way.
Nervous,
Okay.
disoriented,
You go that way, I'm gonna hit
the hunters are now lost in the woods. And it seems like they've got
You
company.
know what? Maybe I'll go that way.
It's moving with us. I can hear it. Did you really just see the tree shaking?
Yeah.
We definitely have to come back down here and investigate some more.
It was just freaky for me. I felt like a cold wind over my back, and I don't know, it felt like eyes were on me. So
You feel it the second time we walk back in there again?
Just know that it is a very smart creature. It can track you, it can hunt you, and it knows whether you're there just to look for it or whether you're there as an aggressive force against it. All right, I'm seeing road lights.
Yeah. I mean, look at that.
Was that noise in the bushes an encounter or not? This time, the hunt may have gotten a little too close for everyone. Elusive as the devil is, it has left a trail over the years, emerging from the forest to wander the back roads. This is said to be one of its favorite haunts, Batstone Mansion, a remnant of an iron mining town dating back to the American Revolution.
Some people say that this is the most commonly seen location of the Jersey Devil.
So probably many a night it's flown around this place.
In January of 1909, the Jersey Devil apparently left the Pine Barrens and began to roam the Delaware Valley, leaving footprints as it went. Hundreds of observers cited it in towns throughout New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And these weren't just bumps in the night. People described in great detail the creature's horse-like head, bat wings, kangaroo legs, and blood-curdling screech. A fire department even reported trapping, then hosing down a Jersey Devil on the roof of a house near Philadelphia.
In New Brunswick and Trenton, trolley cars had armed shotgun riders, and a train in Haddon Heights was buzzed by the Jersey Devil.
On the hunt for more information, the team has turned up a lead from a local historian, a clue that brings them to the Smithville town graveyard, where they hope to find evidence of the actual historical figure that was the Jersey Devil. They're looking for the grave of one Smith J. Leeds, the child some believe actually became the winged demon.
It was very eerie when we found the tombstone. We're walking through the cemetery looking for names and looking for dates, and I just walked right up and saw Smith J. Leeds, 1890 to 1892, and we almost dropped the cameras.
Now deep in the woods of the Jersey pines lives a horrifying creature that will make you...
I had an idea that I was thinking of a little
At the JD Pub, it's time to regroup. The team has come away from Leeds Point with a new tip. A direct descendant of the Leeds clan has quietly given them a hint about the location of the family house, well to the south of the first hunt. Now it's time to plot strategy and begin a new hunt.
Every time I feel like I'm a little bit weird for going out, like my parents always say, oh, you're going out there devil worshipping, you know. People don't understand it sometimes, but I really like what I do, and the more people who are receptive to it, the more comfortable I am doing it.
Right.
So watch out.
On the hunt for the Jersey Devil, myth and fact are often intertwined. But early the next evening, as the team sets out, they may be getting one step closer to the root of the mystery. Now they're working with a clue to the site of the devil's birth, the haunted place where it is said the creature must return. It's a site shrouded in mystery. Many would-be hunters have been led astray by people not wanting to reveal the true location. And then, the woods reveal something.
You see that?
Yeah.
Take a look at the charred wood we've got over here. Clear out that entrance for us.
It's the foundation of a house. The team looks for signs of charred wood, since the original Leeds home burned to the ground in the 1950s.
Basically, the entire thing, if you can see, it definitely burnt. It was definitely burnt at one point.
Why don't you hop in there, Sean, see if we can get some video. All right.
They can't be certain this is the devil's birth house, but the evidence looks good.
I just can't believe I'm standing in the house foundation.
They peer into the shadows, but while the devil remains out of reach, the team feels certain that they're getting closer, that it's only a matter of time until they find it.
This legend has penetrated itself so much into our history that people actually believe a woman cursed her baby and there's the Jersey Devil. And I want to know why. I want to know why that has lasted for 265 years. Why even the Leeds family to this day, they swear that it's a blood relative of them. I don't really buy into all of that, but I definitely think there's something out there. And like it or not, that legend is a part of New Jersey's history.
Honestly, I think we gather more and more proof about the Jersey Devil's existence every day. But actually seeing the Jersey Devil, I think it might happen eventually. Personally, my view on the Jersey Devil is he tries to hide away from everyone, to keep away from scrutiny, to survive. It is a creature just like you and me, put on this earth, and we're all given natural instinct to survive, and I think that's what it's doing. It's actually out there just thinking about survival.
For the devil hunters and those in the Pine Barrens, the Jersey Devil is as real as the next blood-curdling shriek or flutter of wings in the night. This is a demon that won't go away, and until it's found, the hunt will continue.
Bajo la superficie oceánica.
Still more ancient legends that walk the night. Great Britain is famous for its ghosts and dragons, its Loch Ness monsters and legendary carnivores that hunt across the marshes, like the Hound of the Baskervilles. Now, over the last few decades, a new kind of monster is traveling the hedgerows, and the strange thing is, it may actually be a flesh and blood creature. And worse, it may just be savage enough to rip your throat out.
We were driving along and we just saw this big cat disappearing into the hedge.
And this big tail, which was at least 2 feet long, went across my face.
Hundreds of reports suggest that predators are on the loose. Giant cats, perhaps some sort of pumas or panthers. They've been cropping up across the country. Yet officially, the government says they don't exist. Still, distinctive big cat sheep kills are surfacing.
I believe that there are very large cats free in this country, and the evidence that we've gathered so far seems to indicate that there are quite a number of them throughout the land.
Basically, the government doesn't want to know, and I think it's only when somebody is killed or seriously injured that they are going to sit up and take notice.
Some believe that the descendants of prehistoric Ice Age cats still exist in England. Others say Roman soldiers may have brought leopards with them when they conquered Britain. Others still believe animals were released or escaped much later in the 1970s, when the government began to ban all dangerous captive animals. What's clear to monster hunters across the British Midlands is that something's definitely out there. David Spencer and his son Nigel run Panther Watch. They spend much of their time tracking reports like this one from local policeman Dave Toon. Big cats have recently been seen by police, zookeepers, and the RSPCA.
Approximately the size of a small fox.
Following up on a big cat sighting, Constable Toon was surveying the area when he spotted a black object in the field.
When I lowered the binoculars and turned to my right, about 10 yards to my right was this big black cat. And I could see that it was about the size of a small fox, certainly 2 to 3 times bigger than a household cat. It turned, looked at me, and then ran off. But as it ran in a loping sort of movement, keeping its head very, very still and very low to the ground, which again is reminiscent of large black cats such as panthers and that type of animal.
Mostly the sightings are reports of the public who phone through to me or to the local press or to the police, and they're passed on. So often in the past, people have walked into their local pub in the evening and said, "I've seen a big cat," and everyone laughs and says, "Pull the other one." But now people don't feel so intimidated. They know very well that these animals are around.
You know, a cat makes that deep, sort of growling, off-putting sound. I heard that, and I don't mind telling you, it scared me. And I couldn't think what else it could be, to be honest, other than a big cat of some sort.
And yet, despite growing evidence, scientists and the British government want more proof. They want a body. Big Cat webmaster Mark Henson has a theory on this.
I think it could be a cover-up. For a start, the government perhaps does not want to panic the general public. And this is also the question of sheep being killed, farmers' sheep, livestock being wounded.
In the face of angry sheep farmers and panicked citizens, the government would need to mount a big cat cleanup that could cost millions.
It's going to be very, very expensive. And I think that's the main reason that the government are just ignoring this at the moment.
Sensational newspaper headlines, like this recent alleged attack on a boy in Wales, have kept big cats in the news, raising questions about just how many cats there are out there and how they're getting around.
So where would they be coming from?
David and Nigel believe they're traveling along abandoned railway lines. 150 years old, these hidden game trails are a natural draw for big cats.
We've got a fantastic run down here now for probably 8-9 miles without actually going near any houses or anything. Just running through the countryside.
250 Los bien documentados informes de la criatura empezaron aquí en los años 90 y se extendieron por toda América Latina. La historia original data de varios siglos. En cada cuerpo...
Speculation about a demonic presence may have its origin in the Indian migration to this island centuries ago. Settling here to worship the gods of the mountains, they called this land Borakan, a sacred place to communicate with the lords of the sky. Yet they also lived in terror of the nights, when frightening monsters roamed the countryside looking for something or someone to eat. For 500 years, the evil spirits of Puerto Rico would lie in wait until the terror of the Chupacabra was unleashed on the land.
Estas escenas nos hacen recordar la ola de ataques atribuidos al llamado Chupacabras. No es la primera vez que aparecen.
Over the past 10 years alone, there have been hundreds of reported sightings. Documented attacks all across Puerto Rico, rippling outwards from Mexico to Costa Rica. And with each one, the media attention and the fear seems to grow. Some say it's a classic ghost story. Some say there's more than meets the eye. Demon, flesh and blood creature, or mass hysteria. One thing seems certain. Animals across the island are being killed in a very unusual way.
It only comes out at night.
Right.
This animal. Mm-hmm. And he would attack certain amount at one time. He would stop for a while and then he would continue again.
Monster hunters Bob Buck, Joyce Murphy, and her group have come to Puerto Rico to seek out eyewitnesses and stories about the animal known in Spanish as the goat sucker, the Chupacabra, a blood-drinking, reptilian-looking creature which some say has been attacking animals with a growing frequency in recent years.
Not an animal I think you'd really want to upset. Anything can kill a healthy 1,500-pound bull, run it down and kill it. I don't think most people would really want to come face to face with it.
Searching for the chupacabra in its natural habitat is one way to dig up fresh evidence. But Bob and the team of amateur cryptozoologists hope to find most of what they're looking for among the recent sighting reports in rural villages.
I personally do not believe or disbelieve on the chupacabra. I take it that the people that see these as witnesses aren't lying, aren't crazy, aren't drunk, and that, well, illusions don't kill animals. It's definitely a creature. And once you determine that, then you look at the evidence to try to determine what this creature may be.
To understand more, Bob and Joyce will have to travel into the heart of Puerto Rico. After dozens of encounters by farmers and policemen in the mid-90s, theories about the chupacabra abound. Unknown species, bizarre mutation, or even a government genetic experiment unleashed on the people of Puerto Rico. A sizable U.S. military presence here has fueled many stories. On top of the Taino's Sacred Mountain, now a nature preserve, sits an impressive array of aircraft control towers. Some speculate the area also houses top-secret underground labs, site of countless classified experiments.
There's some that believe that the chupacabra was genetically engineered in these underground bases with, that was a combination alien-human military complex. It maybe escaped or maybe was allowed to roam the area to determine how people would react in an isolated, contained area such as Puerto Rico.
Bob, Joyce, and their group, known as Beyond Boundaries, searched the world for strange, unexplained phenomena. Over the next 10 days, they're on a mission to explore all the theories about the chupacabra, no matter how extreme. There's no denying the physical evidence. Throughout Puerto Rico, domestic animals as small as rabbits and as big as a 1,500-pound bull have been attacked. Investigating one recent incident, the group travels to a village on the edge of the rainforest.
And one night, we can hear rattling noises. Cages were bent in. Some of them the wounds were in the neck, the ones that were laying on the floor. But the ones that were still in their cages, it seems like whatever it was pulling the rabbits out of the cages.
Attacks on rabbits are not uncommon. This man told local TV he thought he saw something next to his rabbit cages. When he went to investigate, he caught it by surprise. It had very big, glowing eyes and looked like the descriptions of the chupacabra. Said to be 4 to 5 feet high, with powerful hind legs, an ability to glide through the air, and a mosquito-like proboscis used to drill into its victims, the chupacabra is the stuff of nightmares. It's not the size of the creature that's so scary, but the way it's said to strike. 1 or 2 small entry wounds, winding in with surgical precision, turning organs into Swiss cheese. Examining damage inflicted by this creature, local veterinarian Carlos Soto says he's never seen anything like the small, cauterized wounds.
My theory is that this creature has some type of organ or system or something that once it goes in, has the capacity or going, flexible into searching for different organs, okay?
At attack sites like this across the island, people are staggered by the cold precision of the wounds they're seeing. Cages are not bent as with a cat or dog attack. And although this chicken has many small holes, there was no evidence of blood found in the dead animal's wounds. This woman's dog was killed in a similar way. Small surgical punctures in its neck. And now she fears for the children in her neighborhood. Searching for new evidence, the group heads back to meet with Jose Battaglia, assistant to Chemo Soto, the mayor of Canóvanas, site of the first chupacabra attack. Since 1995, startling reports have been coming in from Canóvanas about the chupacabra landing on rooftops, flying past windows and attacking animals. A local policeman is said to have shot at it, only to have the bullet bounce off. The mayor, a self-styled Indiana Jones, has staked his last few elections on a promise to rid the town of this creature once and for all.
I asked for help from the police, civil defense, and National Guard, because as a mayor, I was worried about the population. I organized an expedition to try and catch the Chupacabra. I want to solve this problem.
Over a period of several years, Mayor Soto's civil defense team launched numerous expeditions into the jungles of El Yunque, often tying up goats as bait, with the idea of tranquilizing and capturing a live chupacabra. Team members reported strange smells, even footprints, but each time they came back with nothing. And the chupacabra struck again.
This is where it's at, the gentleman we're going to interview?
What's behind these attacks? The group heads to the site of a very recent incident. Most of the carcasses were disposed of. Bob is trying to determine if this is a genuine attack or part of a pattern of hoaxes. The caretaker describes the unusual manner in which his roosters were killed.
In other words, he's saying that the claws, he used to stick the claws. And eventually he used to cut, sometimes chop the neck off.
Okay. Could you detect if like it was maybe 2 or 3 talons or something like that? Like, or can you, how many? How many? It also stated that there was puncture wounds in the back of the base of the neck. That is a classical attack by the Chupacabra.
En Latinoamérica, todo lo hacemos con pasión. Hard evidence. And he's hoping to find it by setting up video surveillance near the locations of recent sightings. Knowing the powerful creature may be only a leap away makes him a little nervous. But he's determined to find the truth.
This creature mostly travels at night. It's nocturnal. It seems to prefer the darkness to do its dirty work, to do its killing. I do believe the government has captured this creature. I believe they know a lot more than they claim to do, and it seems like there is a suppression of information, but necessarily because the government has it doesn't mean we're going to have access to it.
The next day, a local takes the group to the site of old Indian petroglyphs that show odd alien figures. Taino legends tell us this was a place of ancient contact between men and the gods. Today, there are a surprisingly high number of strange incidents over the El Yunque Preserve. UFO sightings, eerie lights above the misty mountains. At one nearby Chupacabra attack site, this woman says her father recently saw a flying saucer soaring up towards the El Yunque rainforest. Faced with UFOs and Chupacabras, two sets of such odd, unexplained phenomena, who could help but put them together? Certainly not beyond boundaries President Joyce Murphy.
I think it's probably something to do with UFOs and aliens, and maybe it's like a pet or an alien hybrid of some sort, because it's usually seen before, during, or after a UFO appearance. You know, like within the same hour, there'll be a UFO either there at the time or before or after people have seen the Chupacabras. It's happened many times that way.
Aliens and monsters? Seems hard to believe in the daytime hours. But all across Puerto Rico, there are those who feel it must be true, even city officials.
But we know for sure that the chupacabra should be something strange, something from any other place in the world, maybe from outer space, or maybe it's a visitor from any planet. But we are not sure. But I believe that the government is hiding something.
To get to the bottom of all this, the team heads right into the El Yunque Preserve, the center of the sightings, where they get the official response.
As manager of this reserve, we have no known facts of sighting of chupacabras. You know, I lived most of my childhood in the foothills of this mountain, and I know this forest very well. And we got a 24-hour operation, almost 360 days of a year, and nobody can attest to any of that.
This is not an illusion. This is real. What it is, I don't know, but I do know these people are very fearful of this. It has killed a lot of animals, and I don't see any purpose of them making stories up.